my arm hurts. What string is good for my racket if my arm hurts? Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So we're going to talk about arm-friendly strings today. Like at least a couple times a week, somebody comes in and says, oh, my arm hurts. What can I do? So aside from using a brace, aside from putting on some Bengay, strings or a racket change are probably your best bet. Or rest. You know, sometimes we just need to sit it out right now. I'm sure everybody's sitting it out right now, right? So your arms are going to be fresh and ready to play, right? But today we're going to be talking about arm-friendly strings. Now, what does that mean? It means that the strings are going to be softer. The strings are going to give, right? Because the last thing you want to do is have stiff strings, too tight of a tension, right? So when the ball hits it, it causes a shock through the racket into your arm every time, right? So if you imagine doing that thousands of times in your playing session, right? That's why you have tennis elbow, okay? So today, I'm gonna go over the top 3 synthetics and the top 3 polyesters. And possibly, and I'll do hybrids too for you too. Okay, so let's get started. Starting at number 3. I like this Gamma Professional. Okay, it's a multi-filament string that's constructed very, very similar to natural gut, but made with obviously man-made fibers, synthetic, right? So these micro strands here allows the strings to absorb the ball when you string it into your string bed, or when I put it into your string bed and the ball strikes your string bed. Okay, so real thin micro strands in there, especially in the center, will help absorb it. But we have to remember to string it probably as loose as you can take it. I mean, I've strung rackets as low as 25 pounds, just to, you know, protect somebody's arm, or just because they want to play, but they can't take anything higher or else it'll hurt. All right, next up, Tecnifibre, of course. Number 2 is the X1 Biphase. Softest synthetic out there, tons of micro strands. This is one of those strings that when you start hitting it, it'll start breaking off those micro strands, kind of like gut, right? People start panicking when they start knocking off those micro strands and you see the little puffs in the string bed, right? Don't panic. Don't panic. It's not going to break soon. Those puffs will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And a lot of the times it holds on for a long time. It doesn't affect the play that much, but you know, like don't worry about it. As those strands come apart, it actually softens up the string even more. Okay, so don't worry. I would say wait until it breaks if you can. If you only have one racket, then you know, bring it in to me or somebody else like me to check it out. Okay, but most of the time people play with it for like 4 to 6 hours and say, oh, I need a string job, when it's not even halfway through the string. All right, so soft string, great for the arm. Right, now number 1 is obviously going to be natural gut. Nothing beats this string. It's a natural fiber, comes from a cow intestine, as some of you know. Okay, so this is the only string that's made from a natural fiber. Okay, everything else is going to be man-made. So that's what gives it the stretch, that's what gives it the feel, that's what gives it the dampening properties. Okay, so nothing beats this in terms of dampening, all right, or the power or the feel. Okay, If you've ever tried it, you know what I mean. And if you haven't tried it, definitely do. Okay? Babolat Natural Gut. Now, if you have to use a poly, just because you're used to that unique feel, I would say first do a hybrid, but and these would be the 3 hybrids I would do it with. Okay, now if you can do like any of these on the main, right, on the main, that would be ideal. All right, and then maybe put some of these on the cross. Okay, so but if you have to use a poly just because you like that slingy feel with the spin, make sure you string it loose. I mean, probably in the 40s, 45 pounds or looser, okay? And my number 1 string, actually, I'll start with a number 3. Number 3 string would be Luxilon, this Luxilon Element. It's one of the softer strings out there. That's a premium poly, right? It absorbs well, it reacts well, it dampens pretty well, all right? So give that a try, okay? Now, it's not extreme on the dampen side, but it's right there, okay? It's right there. That's why it's number 3, okay? Now going into number 2, that Luxilon Smart string, okay? Now they even say for you to string this string at 44 plus or minus 4, right? So that's 40 pounds to 48 pounds. Don't string this past 48 pounds, okay? Ideally, 40 to 44 pounds would be perfect for your racket, okay? So this has the same properties as the Wilson Clash racket, okay? If you want to swing harder, it'll give you power. If you want to lighten up, it'll give you touch, okay? But it has those properties. It's nice and absorbent, okay? So more absorbent in the string, less pressure on the elbow, all right? So that's the Luxilon Smart, okay? Go with the 125 if you could. Unless you really break strings, then go with the 130. Both of these are made in 130 if you are a string breaker, okay? Number 1 in the polys to save your arm, Luxilon Ace, okay? Why the Ace? Well, it's a thin string. It's a 112 millimeter, so it's ultra thin. If you're a big hitter, you're probably gonna break this real fast. But to save your arm, it'll play well. It'll absorb the ball shock. It'll give you spin, okay? But don't count on this lasting long because it's not going to. Let's talk hybrids now. Hybrid arm-friendly string. If you can incorporate gut in any of these combinations, that would be the perfect storm. That would be ideal. Putting this on the main, like doing it like Fed, right? And then comboing it with even the synthetics or those polys, depending on how you want it to feel or how you like your strings to act and react. Gut would be the best to save your arm. I know it's on the pricey side, but mixing it will definitely help with the value too, okay? Now, if I had to choose, because you guys love it when I choose, I would go main, cross, right? My top 2, main, cross, right? You'll get a nice dampened feel. You'll get great spin. It'll give you good power, right? This is ideal for me, okay? Now, if you don't want to do that, or if you live in conditions that won't allow for this, I would say grab that X1 biphase and put it on the main. And again, take this ace and put it on the cross if you want that feeling of like a poly and a poly's reaction. This will give you a nice soft feel with the sling of that poly being on the cross. Now, the downside of this, if you, you will break this. You will break this in probably 10 hours, maybe even less. So, it's like what I tell people. If you want to play tennis and you don't want to pay for arm surgery and be out, 3 to 6 months, spend the money on this, right? Okay? Now, if you want that poly feeling and you have to have it on the main and you want it a little more durable, right? Go this route. Take this and put it on the main, and take this gamma and put it on the cross. This will give you a poly-esque feeling, right? And this gamma will make it hold tension, like the string bed hold tension a little longer, okay? Now, so this is a great kind of traditional poly main arm friendly combo hybrid, okay? So try that, okay? But any of these will work, like any of these will work. If you're a string breaker and your arm's killing you, right? But you're gonna break like any of these, you put any of these on the main, right? They're gonna break fast. That's just how it is, okay? So go with these. Take this or take this in the 125 or the 130. The 130 is gonna last you a little longer, right? String it nice and loose and put any of these on the cross, right? Any of these three on the cross. In the 16 gauge, that'll last you longer. So we go 16, 16 for more durability, okay? But do it, 45 pounds, right? Let the strings take the shock, all right? That's my advice to you guys. Now, there's other strings on the market. These are what I work with. Like there's Hyper G that you can incorporate. There's Diadem, whatever you call that brand, that you can incorporate. There's Y-Tex you can incorporate. All this is very personal. This is just from me being in this environment for the last 30 years that I know works for sure. All right, so tell me your combinations. What do you guys do for tennis elbow when it comes to strings? Let's share. All right, thanks for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.